Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Mr. G's Workbench and part 3 of the Hornet and Small Bites show. So, if you recall, in part 2, we got the nose section assembled with the cockpit that we had built in part 1B. We got the gear bay installed as well. Everything is put together for the nose. We got that sanded, cleaned up and everything, rescribed, done. Today we're going to get the rear half of the fuselage done. That's going to be the intakes and the basic part of the engines, and then we're going to put all that into the rear fuselage. So not a ton of parts. Looks pretty straightforward. I've test fitted some of the stuff. It went together pretty well. I don't think it'll be much of an issue. So that said, thanks for stopping in. If you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back. And thank you as always to my channel members. There's their names now. And always appreciate their support. If you want to become a channel member, by the way, if you go down to the bottom of the page and where it says join, hit the join button. It's $1.99 US a month, and you'll be helping to support the channel. If you like what I'm doing here, it's a big boost for me, and it's much appreciated. So that being said, last thing, if you enjoy this video, please, if nothing else, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. It goes a long way to moving the algorithm along, and more people see at least see the thumbnail for this video. So it would be much appreciated, all right? So with all of that being said and all the YouTube crap out of the way, let's jump in. Let's take a look at the parts we have for this week's installment. We're going to start with the intakes. We've got 3 parts for the intakes. I've already puttied and cleaned the insides of the parts that I think you're going to see just up front. Next come the engines. I've already gone in as well, puttied and sanded. This is the only area that's going to be visible once these are built, and visible being a very loosely thought. Along with that, we've got the fans up front, we've got the exhaust faces there, and we've got these things which are supposed to get glued on the outside. I don't know if they're going to make a difference in installation. And then finally, we've got the 2 halves of the rear fuselage that are going to come together. And during my dry fit, I found these went together pretty well. I even test fitted the nose section to see how that went on, and it honestly looked pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. That's all the parts we're going to mess around with in this episode. So let's jump in. We got to get these intakes painted. While we're at it, we'll get those exhausts painted, and we'll get all this other crap painted up, except for this, obviously. And let's see how we do. Got the intake assembly, and there's seams here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. You can kind of see right there. To be quite honest, I don't think you're going to be able to see very far into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just taking some Vallejo acrylic plastic putty, just running a bead in there for as far as I think you're going to be able to see. Take a wet cotton bud, just kind of draw it along in there. And then I'm just going to let that dry. And then I'm going to come back in and I'll give each one of these intakes a quick spray with Tamiya White. what I did here was, you're barely going to see any of this. I painted the inside of this section flat white, and then I came back and I just like drew in some lines with flat black to replicate some form of exhaust. The intake faces are painted aluminum, and then I came back with the Tamiya black panel liner. The exhaust ones, I know there's another name for that, and I'm sure somebody can be kind enough to tell me down below. I originally gave them a base coat of aluminum, and then based on this picture, I've got a couple of pictures that look the same. They have this brownish metallic hue to them. So I came back in, I sprayed them with a very faint coat of brass, and then the center parts, I took some of that diluted brass, added some burnt iron to it just to darken up those center sections a little. So that's all I'm going to do with that. Again, you're barely going to see any of this. Alright, in real time it's been 3 days of work on these intakes. I put the three pieces together after I painted them white, and then there were noticeable seams on the inside which are still there, as you can see, even after putty. I puttied, sanded, and repainted them again, and they look like crap on the inside, to be honest. So what I'm going to plan on doing is, if you can see any decent bit of these intakes, I'll just take the easy way out, to be quite honest, and I'll put FOD covers on the intakes. So let's get it together. Let's see how everything looks. So just when I thought I was going to wrap up this this little bite of the Hornet, I realized I started test fitting these def model exhausts that I got. This is going to be really hard to show. Let me see if I can get this. Just so. All right. If you look at this one, this engine is the way it comes after you assemble it. Now, I test fitted this exhaust thing. I test fitted a bunch of times. I thought it fit. It fit over the engine face. The problem is when you try to get everything to line up flush, it wouldn't fit. And you can't really see it too well here, but this ring at the outside of the actual engine is kind of pushing this out, so it doesn't want to slide all the way down. So what I've done is I've cut that ring completely off on this side, and you won't see most of this mess when it's all done. But I can take this now and I can get the engine, the exhaust on there. I have to hold it on, but it fits. And you know what? It's just going to take, I just got to do a little more fine sanding, because the other thing I had to do, I was sanding the outer diameter of the inside of this exhaust, and it didn't make a difference. What it really needed is you have to bevel the inside diameter of this so that this will sit down more. So again, let me show you. See that? Now it'll sit flush. So now I've got to do that on both. Well, I think that's as far as we're going to get with this rear fuselage. We've done everything we can do to it. We sanded, scribed, sanded, re-scribed. We did all of that. I've done a bunch of tinkering with the kit engines to accommodate the res kit aftermarket exhausts. I'm going to do a little more tinkering with it, you know, between now and when we install them. They're just about there. So we're good with that. I think the weak point of this kit so far is just this section right here, where when the upper and lower halves come together, they want to kind of bend in a little. So you wind up with this kind of dimple. For the most part, I think it's going to be hidden by the stabilators. So I'm not going insane with it. I'm not happy with the intakes, but for as much as you're going to see, if you want to shine a light down there and look, stick the flashlight up your ass. What am I going to say? I think the exhausts are going to look good, like I said. Next time we get together, we're going to build the wings. The wings are going to get installed, and then I'm going to finally get to put these side panels on, and then we're going to put the nose on. So by the end of the next bite of this Hornet, we're going to have something that approaches looking like a plane. So hope you enjoyed it. By this point, I hope I've convinced you to give me a thumbs up on this video. If you guys would please do so, I'd appreciate it. It takes 2 seconds. It doesn't cost you a penny. And the more likes I get, the more YouTube will kind of push my video to let other people see it. So I'd appreciate it if you did that. If you didn't like it, feel free to give me a thumbs down, and I appreciate you sticking it out this long. So until the next time we get together, thank you to all my subscribers. We're up over 2,400. Thank you to my channel member family, like always. And until we get together again, take care, stay well, see you next time.